I'd like to start off by saying what an incredible atmosphere and crowd we have today. I'll compliment everybody, all the fans from both teams, from Old Dominion and Norfolk State. That was really impressive to see, and from everything I've been told by our folks, it was a great event outside with the tailgating and everything inside. So in what was billed as one of the biggest sporting events in the history of the city of Norfolk, to see it go off as well as it did in terms of everybody's involvement, that was great. In terms of the game, very excited with the win and how we played today. I felt like we overcame some adversity early in this game that we created for ourselves on that 97-yard touchdown pass they hit. We broke down and had a couple guys run into each other, got down 7-0. We dropped the next kickoff, almost fumbled. So we were in need of catching a deep breath at the start of this game, and we did, and I felt like we came back from that point and played a solid football game all around in all three phases. Special teams with the blocks and the fake with DeMarco. Defensively, I thought we were outstanding. I challenged our defense before this game to play like the defense that had played in the second half of the Villanova game, where we shut them out, the second half of the JMU game. We shut them out the second half of the Richmond game when we only allowed 6 points, and I felt like our defense did that. They were dominant today. And offensively, we were very poor today running the ball, and much of that credit goes to Norfolk State. They're one of the top rush defenses in the country, and they played well today. But we threw the ball well. Taylor made some great decisions and got away with a win. So very excited with the win, and I'll take questions.
The biggest kind of stood out in this game with you guys, poise after that 98-yard touchdown. But also, what was the game plan in general was to keep Norfolk State on their heels defensively the entire game?
Yeah, we came into this saying we were going to play faster than we've ever played on offense. We felt like we wanted to snap the ball within 15 seconds of every time they spotted it, and I felt like we put a lot of pressure on them. We ran a lot of plays in the first half. We ran 40 plays. In the first half. That's a lot. That's a lot of football plays. You know, on average, you're going to run about 70. I'm not sure what we ended up with total, but we ran a lot of plays today, and that was the plan, to keep as much pressure on them as we could, to try to force them to show their blitzes. They're a very good blitz team. Pete Adrian's an excellent defensive coach, and he's been running the same defense for 30 years, so he knows it inside and out. And we needed to see some of their blitzes, and I felt like our tempo allowed for that.
Assess Taylor Heineke's performance today.
I thought he was very poised, made some very good decisions. They were only rushing 3 the majority of the game and dropping 8. So this game for Taylor was much like the Richmond game, and that they played coverage the majority of the game, and because we were not successful running the football today, I put a lot more pressure on Taylor to make good decisions, which he did, not only throwing the ball but running the ball. I thought he was very poised. Some of his throws today were just outstanding.
Defensively, what was kind of the overall game plan, trying to contain Wally and what Norfolk State does?
Yeah, the game plan was to try to force them to run the ball. We played more perimeter defense in this game than we have all year because of their screen game. They're as good as anybody we played in terms of their ability to run screens, especially with Xavier Boyce. He's a very good football player. So we played more perimeter defense to force them to run the ball, and that was the key. We were able to get pressure on Wally with our front four. You know, having Chad King back today made a huge difference in our front. That's one more edge rusher they had to deal with, and by stopping the run with the front four, then we were able to defend the perimeter pass, and we did that very well.
Did you have any questions about Chad King's health, and when he leaped over that offensive lineman, did it erase any doubt to you today?
Nick, you're not eating my sandwich, are you, buddy? All right, I like you, but I don't like you that much. No, to answer your question, Rich, we had a plan going into this where he was never going to take more than 3 snaps consecutively in the game, so Chad would play 3 plays and then we'd take him out, and I made that decision based on his football conditioning. He hadn't played in 6 weeks, and Chad was fine. I just talked to him after the game. He said he was fine, didn't have any pain.
You got Georgia Southern up next not to think too far ahead. I mean,
Oh, no, they're right there.
I'm just saying.
You're right, they're right in front.
You've got it right there, but how helpful is it to have a nice impressive win like this going into, against a school that's been kind of a perennial power?
Well, it's important to win. You know, you got to win to go on. You lose, you go home. So we advance, but we know exactly who Georgia Southern is, and it's going to be a major challenge, particularly with the fact that we're banged up. We come out of this game an injured football team. I'll need to find out about some guys health-wise. You know, we had 4 or 5 guys on defense that came out today, and against what they do offensively, and coming off a game they just had against Alabama. They scored more points and had more yards against Alabama than anybody else in the country this year. So it's going to present a major challenge, but this football team loves a good challenge.
Let me bring the players in.
I'm sorry?
You got 35 points, that's your average.
Right.
So in a lot of ways, this was a routine game.
Yeah, you know what the great unknown, Bob, was in this game is we only had one common opponent. The fact that we play in different conferences, so you look at it and say they only give up 14 a game, they're number 3 in the nation scoring defense, yet we hit our average, and it was a challenge today to hit our average. That's a very good football team. I have tremendous respect for Pete Adriano. I think he's as good a defensive coach as anybody in the country, and the way their players play. That's a very good football team. They were deserving of being here.
Okay, we have Nick Mayer, Ryan Cameron, Taylor being down there, and then.
Taylor.
Questions?
Yeah.
Okay.
Did you almost feel like unconscious out there? Did you could throw up the ball and it was going to be a touchdown one way or the other? Did it feel like that?
Well, the receivers we got, they're very athletic, they're very smart, so I feel like we can do anything with them. They played a man coverage, so I felt like our receivers had an advantage on that. And it was just one-on-ones, and I felt like our receivers could get it done.
Questions?
Ronnie, was it like any game down in the trenches today, or was there any more stuff going back and forth, or was it just what's the normal?
For the most part, it was normal. Just pretty much we up front, we just had a mentality we're going to stop the run first and foremost, just get off the ball, create a new line of scrimmage, and stop the run. And then after that, we knew they had a good quarterback. Waller's a really good quarterback. Gets the ball to his receivers. Just put him in a bind as much as possible. Just make sure he, move him off of his spot because all year he's been able to, get back there. Sit back there and throw. So we just wanted to definitely move him off his spot and get him in an uncomfortable space.
Could you tell the offensive linemen couldn't hear or were confused by the noise?
Yeah, I think the noise had an effect on them because the atmosphere we had today was ridiculous. It was amazing. All our fans came out and definitely made it difficult for them to hear the snap, and it was just a lot of miscommunication going on that side of the ball. We benefited from it. So,
Ronnie, how did the defense bounce back from that 98-yard punch in the round to start with? Did you say something?
Yeah, it was tough. It was, It was tough. It was, we had him backed up. We thought we thought it was only going to be a safety, and then he ended up throwing the ball. And, 2 of our DBs ended up, running into each other. But, it's just pretty much, we always have a mentality. Coach always tells us play the next play, and it happens. Things happen. Things happen all year, and we just got to bounce back from it. That's what a resilient team does. That's what a mature team does, is don't let one play define the rest of the game. You just bounce back from these things.
For you guys, assess just the atmosphere of Norfolk State, Old Dominion. What was it like on the field that nobody else would really understand? Just going up against that. Starting a rival.
Well, for me, from the start, it's like that every week. It wasn't like we're out of our element. Every week our fans bring that same energy. And it was definitely it was something added to it, the fact that, it was a big deal for the city of Norfolk. But, we depend on our fans to bring it every week. And, we always just feed off of their energy.
Curtis, can you talk about that touchdown catch you had? Looked like the ball was actually behind the defender's helmet. Did you have it in your sights the whole way, or?
Talking about the first one, right?
Yeah.
When Taylor threw it up, I misjudged it because I wanted to jump up and catch it, but I misjudged it, and when the corner ran underneath me, I saw the ball was going to get over his head. So, I had the ball. I could see the ball the whole time. The whole play, I could see it.
And then the field. It looked nice.
Curtis, how good was Taylor's touch today on his passes?
His touch was real good today. It was amazing. even on that first touchdown to me, like, I just kind of pointed up and he threw a ball that only I can get to, so I knew he was kind of feeling it today.
Hey, Taylor, because of the way they play defense today, did you have to be even a little more patient than normal, just kind of waiting and finding and sliding back and forth and everything? Could you just talk a little bit about kind of how you had to play today?
Well, definitely. They had three down, drop 8 most of the game, which means they had 8 guys covering 4 receivers, 5 receivers, and they're very athletic and fast. So I just look for the holes, wait for them to open, and when they went man to man, we felt that was our best opportunity, just because our receivers are very, very good.
Nick, what's the feeling among the team and the 757 boys to be on the stage and to keep moving on?
It's definitely a blessing. You know, we're all very excited to play here in front of our hometown and people we knew and grew up with. It's just a blessing to be able to share this opportunity and get able to get a win. So we are very excited for the chance to move on.
Other questions?
How did Norfolk State stack up against who you played already this year, previous to that?
No, like I said, they were definitely a really good team. They had a really good defense, and their offense, was highly productive in terms of the passing game. I don't know if there's any one team I could connect them to the being like, but they're definitely, they definitely belong in this tournament, and they're definitely a good team.
Other questions? All right, if not, the Old Dominion locker room is open for another time. Please go in through the training